Sawadee welcome to Thailand Today here on NBT World. Rice Department encourages farmers to aware of benefits of using rice straw for soil improvement. Rice Department Acting Director General Prasong Prapai Tarkoon said a total of 70 million rights of farmland was given over to the farm cultivation, or 46% of the country's agricultural areas, most of which was in the lower north, the central region, and the northeast. He said each year over 27 million tons of rice straw and 18 million tons of paddy residue left in paddy fields nationwide. Therefore, most farmers preferred to burn rice straw and paddy residues to facilitate their next cultivation. Mr. Prasong said air pollution arising from paddy residues burning is a major risk of public health problem, which makes many Thai people sick, harms the environment, and also affects the tourism industry. He said PM10 is the most important air pollutant in urban and rural areas of Thailand and has increased to the critical levels. At the same time, crops residues burning has reduced soil health and soil fertility. He said Thai farmers should be aware of the benefits of using agricultural organic waste as compost for soil improvement. At present, the government's agencies have soil doctor units throughout Thailand. Such units help farmers afford and apply the new technology in soil and water conservation and soil improvement in their fields so that the farmers can make better use of their land's area, increase their income by increasing crop production, and preserve and improve soil quality. In addition, soil and water conservation demonstration villages have also been set up as a pattern for farmers to adopt on their land. Agriculture Ministry and GIZ jointly launched Thai Rice Nama project to increase rice production's efficiency and tackle climate change. Agriculture and Cooperatives Minister Grisada Bunrat has revealed that the Thai Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives have cooperated with the German GIZ to launch the Thai Rice Nama project in order to increase rice production's efficiency and tackle climate change. He said the project has been funded by the German Federation Ministry for Environment, Nature Conservation, Building the Nuclear Safety BMUB, and the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy BEIS of the United Kingdom through the NAMA facility worth €14.9 million. The minister said the Thai Rice Nama project will reach out to 100,000 rice farming households in Thailand in shifting from conventional to low-emission farming in the country. The project will work with farmers and farmers associations as well as external service providers in adapting these advanced farming practices and develop respective incentive schemes, including financial support. The Thai Rice Nama will focus on 6 relevant provinces in the central plains of Thailand: Chainat, Singburi, Ang Thong, Ayutthaya, Pathum Thani, and Suphanburi, and facilitate its replication at the national and regional scale. Mr. Grisada added that the irrigated rice cultivation, applying an alternative wetting and drying AWD on laser land-leveled fields can significantly reduce methane emissions. The switch to low-emission cultivation of rice is estimated to have the potential for avoiding emissions of 1.664 million metric tons MT of CO2e carbon dioxide equivalent. Cumulative over the 5-year lifespans of the project, with increasing annual mitigation potential, reducing baseline emissions from irrigated rice by more than 26%. Agriculture is the second largest greenhouse gas GHG emitting sector in Thailand after Inuri, with the rice production responsible for almost 60% of emissions from agricultural activities. So next break we will talk about the Thai Rice Nationally Appropriate Mitigation Action project could increase efficiency of rice production and reduce global warming from rice farming for sustainable development in Thailand. Coming back after a short break.
NBT World, an English language television channel in Thailand.
Authoritative sources for all government information.
High standard content that's reliable and accurate across every platform.
Our mission is to reflect the vision of Thailand.
Keep up to date through our application or website by searching for NBT World. NBT World, a vision of Thailand.
Welcome back to Thailand Today here on NBT World. Today we will talk with Dr. Matthias Bickel. He's a Program Director, Agriculture and Food from the GIZ, who will tell us how the Thai Rice Nationally Appropriate Mitigation Action, or NAMA, project could increase efficiency of rice production and reduce global warming from rice farming for sustainable development in Thailand. Sawadee ka. Well, welcome Thailand to the program, sir.
Thank you so much.
I start off with with the wording of rice farming causing global warming. Is it the only thing that causing warming?
No, certainly not. I mean, global warming is caused by many different
right.
cases. I mean, certainly yes. I mean, there are a lot of greenhouse gases, as you know. Certainly yes, and I mean, the global community of countries have decided through signing the Paris Agreement of limiting this global warming until 2030. And yeah, so methane emissions from the rice fields cause a lot of global warming, and that is the topic of today, I guess.
Yeah, we have to work hard to stop them, right? So how does it cost?
Okay, so that is quite a complicated issue, but let
yes,
me,
please carry
let me try to walk you through a little bit. Yeah?
Please
so there are quite a lot of greenhouse gases, one of them being methane. Methane is 28 times more severe to the atmosphere than CO2, and I think that is important to mention in the first place. So then, I mean, sources of man-made methane is livestock, and secondly, rice production comes second. And when we talk about the rice production, I mean, methane is emitted from irrigated rice production. Once there is, so to say, a flooded field, and there's no oxygen which can go through to the bacteria. So that is why once the rice field is flooded, then the organic matter is decayed.
Okay.
In the soil, in the water, and hence methane is emitted. And that causes quite a lot of climate change, of course, and is to be tackled now through the Thai Rice NAMA.
One thing is we have seen some changes, and I think, well, it happened here and there for some time. Then you see PM5, you know, the causing the what you call the air pollution lately, a few months ago. It wasn't like this before.
No, certainly not. I mean, climate change, I mean, it's in everyone's mouth, so to say, for years and years. I mean, it started all in Rio in 1992, and now the public is much more aware of what is happening. I mean, we can see a dramatic change in weather patterns. So if you think about the raining season in Thailand, for instance, I mean, it's changing. So we have been waiting for the rain, and the rain only came like a week ago here and there, so it's different. I mean, White Christmas in Europe is also different. I mean, weather patterns change. There are more droughts, more severe weather events, more flooding, more storms, etc. pp. And this is all caused, of course, by climate change, and results into quite a big burden for society in terms of casualties, in terms of economic losses, etc. pp. And that is why it's very high time to tackle this together in the global community, and I'm very happy to observe that the Royal Government of Thailand is a very active part in this.
There are some people who do not believe this. That is not, there is no such a global warming in the world. It is natural disaster.
Yeah, that is true. But of course, if you look at the science behind, and if you carefully analyze the change of weather patterns over the last 20, 30 decades, I mean, the science is clearly on the side of climate change believers, and that is also something which most of the head of states are very much pushing and are behind, and that is why they have signed the Paris Agreement. So the Thai government has signed the Paris Agreement, I think, if I recall correctly, back in September 2016, and now takes all the efforts needed in order to contribute towards mitigating climate change in Thailand and beyond.
When we talk about the farming causing global warming, not only global warming, but also a kind of climate change, a greenhouse effect, greenhouse gas. So that, is it because of the burning of the residues?
Yeah, it's a couple of sources, so to say. I mean, the burning contributes towards it, of course. I mean, we have very recently noticed the very bad air. So my son was not allowed to play outside in kindergarten, for instance. So that was quite dramatic. All the companies and government institutions handed out masks to wear. So that is a different level now. I mean, that is a totally different level. If you look how life, day-to-day life, has changed in the big cities with haze. I mean, the entire straw burning, and then the wind blowing the particles into the cities. I mean, this is really an issue that needs to be tackled for sure. So that is also why there are a set of activities in the Thai Rise Nama project. We'll talk about it in a few minutes, I guess, in more detail.
Please tell us now the background. At least we know to know, because then what I ask you, that the Nama project came over it because of this matter, right? Okay. So can you tell us briefly the background of that, please?
Okay, I think I need to go back a little bit to provide the background.
Please do.
Yeah, so. As I said, I mean, it all starts, so to say, from the Paris Agreement. But of course, the governments also need to have in place the right approaches in order to mitigate greenhouse gases. And that is why there is one instrument which is called NAMA, that stands for Nationally Appropriate Mitigation Action. And these are usually projects certain governments who have signed the Paris Agreement use in order to advance a certain sector, economic sector, to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. So this particular project was funded by the NAMA facility, so mainly by the UK government, the German government, but also the Danish government and the European Union. So they have pledged a certain fund, and out of this fund a competition was started that the best projects in class would then win, and the Thai Rise Nama won last year, so to say. So it was one of 7 projects selected out of 77 concept papers globally. So that's why we feel very excited to support the Royal Government of Thailand in moving forward in mitigation.
So, but the NAMA is only Thai.
This is only Thai. Yeah, I mean,
it's only Thai, right?
Believe me, the topic is too big to tackle in many countries. So this needs specific and a bigger.
Is it because of Thai government has asked for GIZ to come over it, or what? after
No, not
seeing all
really. I
that?
mean, of course, the German government has partnered with Thailand for more than 60 years already. So it's a very long-lasting partnership for decades, and our partnership has evolved, and in the last couple of years it focuses on climate change mitigation and adaptation. So that is why we feel very honored that the Thai government has reached out to the German government to ask us to be the national support organization, so driving the day-to-day management of this Thai rice nama.
When we talk about the what you call phenomenon that's happening by burning or whatever, because Thailand is not the only country grow rice. Okay, the mitigation happened because all this kind. How about ASEAN friends also? Do you think the GIZ to go down to all of them? So the 10 countries?
Honestly, the
rice growers countries.
The issue of climate change contribution towards rice production is a global phenomenon.
It is.
But it is not very well known by the general public that rice production is one of the main sources.
The culprit.
One of the main sources of greenhouse gas emissions, methane. But at the same time, the rice farmers are also the main victims. Since
to be blamed?
No, the main victims from the changing patterns, so to say. I mean, the yields go down if you have more droughts and floods, but the topic and the issue at hand is too big to be tackled by one institution or even one government. I mean, it's a global phenomenon. We from a German agency for international cooperation are very proud to be part of it, but it's certainly too big. That is why we have also formed the so-called Sustainable Rice Platform. If you want, I can go a little bit into details, since this is a global multi-actors partnership which tackles all of these issues on a global level.
Please do, because they ask about primary objective of this NAMA.
I mean, I'm also the current elected chairperson of this Sustainable Rice Platform. And this platform came into being in 2011 already, and was co-founded by UN Environment and the very renowned International Rice Research Institute, together with private sector and a few governments and the civil society as well. GIZ was also part of it at that time. And the Sustainable Rice Platform, with now more than 100 institutional members, we have agreed on the very globally first sustainability standard for rice production, which is called SRP standard. And this SRP standard comprises a set of activities to shift from conventional rice farming to more sustainable rice farming, including low carbon rice farming, so reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. And that in turn results into 10 to 20% higher income for the farmers. This results into 25 to 50% reduced methane emissions, and this results into 25% of saved water and a lot of agricultural inputs saved at the same time. So it's good for the pocket of the farmer, it's good for the environment, and it's good for the society as well.
Do they do it?
Yes, of course they do. I mean, currently SRP has reached already 700,000 farmers globally.
Thai farmers?
Globally, but this is only a drop in the ocean. Very clearly, since we have so many, more than 150 million farmers growing rice. So of course the efforts need to be intensified, but what is great to note is that the Thai government has been one of the main contributors to the Sustainable Rice Platform, and the very first globally certified rice came out of Thailand in November 2016. So that was really great news. And
did it already started? Already started to tackle these problems?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, currently we are in a rollout phase. So the Sustainable Rice Platform standard is rolled out in 20 countries currently, more to come. And of course, what is important is that there is raised awareness on the consumer side, that the consumer can go to the supermarkets and also buy the SRP verified rice. And in this regard, companies like Mars Foods or even Kellogg's and many others, Westmill, Olam International, they, so to say, Mars and Kellogg's have already officially proclaimed that by 2025 they would like to have shifted from conventional sourcing of conventional rice towards shifting to sustainable rice, and that brings
how
the
it is
demand.
different because as presently they are doing growing by themselves sustainably because they've been age-old people to grow
sure.
it. But what is that? What is
So
that?
the notion of sustainability, so to say, was determined for the very first time globally in the rice standard. So nobody knew what exactly it was sustainability. And that is why the 100 institutions in the Sustainable Rice Platform came together and agreed in a very long debate. You can imagine that it was not so easy. But all of us agreed ultimately on the common notion of what sustainability means for the rice sector. And the standard is downloadable from sustainablerice.org. So get involved and feel free to become part of it. So that is what it is.
In short, it's make known to the foreign countries what sustainability.
Not only to the foreign countries. I mean, since only 8 to 10% of the rice is internationally traded anyhow, the majority is locally consumed. So that is why the very Thai companies and Thai consumers are much more important since they consume much more rice than Europeans or other nations, for sure.
Exactly. So what are the targets or goals of this project?
Okay,
to increase,
talking about the Thai rice NAMA, the main target, it's all about mitigating greenhouse gases,
mitigating greenhouse
methane. And the number is 1.7 million tons of CO2 equivalent. So what does that mean? I mean, it's a total.
With some water, right?
Let me break it down a little bit.
Please,
So, I mean, if you talk about 1.7 million, so that is already a huge figure in itself. So that would equate to roughly 1,700,000 elephants. The weight of 1,700,000 elephants, so to say. And this in turn would be the same energy, so to say, of roughly 200,000 households. So imagine 200,000 households, the energy of 200,000 households, or of 400,000 cars. Yeah, so this is, so to say, the greenhouse gases mitigated, reduced through the Thai Rice NAMA project in Thai rice fields only.
Very good, very good, very interesting. So what are the strategy or measures to support this implementation of this project?
Yeah, as I said, I mean, the issues at hand are too big to be tackled only by a few institutions. So that is why we made quite an effort to integrate all the needed institutions, and believe it or not, it's more than 50 institutional partners.
Who are they? Can you name some? Not all, but some of them.
It's led, the entire project is led by the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives.
Yes.
MOAC. So then you have the Ministry of
Commerce,
the Ministry of MONRE, so Natural Resources and Environment. Ministry of Finance through Bank of Agriculture Cooperatives. Ministry of Interior and Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So these 5 take part, and then of course quite 1.5 dozen of departments underneath. So this is the Thai government. And there's a coordination mechanism, a policy board, which is shared by the Minister of Agriculture himself, and he makes sure that the coordination between the various authorities works smoothly. And then there are, of course, other research institutions like the International Rice Research Institutes from the Philippines, one of the most renowned institutes when it comes to rice research and particularly climate change research, and private sector as well. So in Thai Rice NAMA we work very closely with Olam International, one of the biggest commodity traders. So they ship roughly 20% of the global rice trade, for instance, and many other like millers and farmer associations, of course, and 100,000 farming households as a target group.
You as a program director of this GIZ, to help out this matter, do you feel that this swift steps of Thai government to really do it?
I mean,
it's on time.
Of course, I'm not the Thai government, so that is why the Thai government could much better respond to your question. But what I can share is... I
mean, how swiftly, how quick to be done?
What I can share is according to the Paris Agreement. All the signatories of the Paris Agreement, they have submitted, so to say, a commitment to the UNFCCC, so the UN Framework Convention of Climate Change, and they have committed to greenhouse gas reductions. The Thai government did so for the energy and transport sector, but not yet for agriculture. Yeah, since I mean, obviously, it's much more burdensome to derive impacts from the agriculture sector, since you have to deal with millions of farmers, and it's not easy. Believe me, there is no government on this planet who manage to reach all the farmers in their country in a very efficient way. That is always
there is something loophole there.
Always an issue, but at the same time, I think we need to bear in mind that by 2050, we would need 25% of more food in order to feed the world.
Okay, we're going to come back for the other factors of related to NAMA. Okay, so we are coming back to the end of the first part of interviews, and next we'll be discussing more on details of the Thai Rice NAMA project. So please stay tuned.
In 2019, Thailand is ready for ASEAN chairmanship, working together and building solidarity to increase competitiveness and innovation with the people at the center. All sectors are ready to promote unity of the ASEAN community. NBT World is excited to be a full supporter of the Thai ASEAN chairmanship. Keep up to date on ASEAN 2019 movement with NBT World.
Welcome back to Thailand Today. Now we're still talking with Dr. Matthias Bickel. He is still with us with other factors related to Thai Rice NAMA project. So tell me, sir, Germany is famous, is known to all over the world of your highly technologically adaptation. Anyway, so what potential technologies to be applied in order to increase efficient of rice production and reduce greenhouse gas GHG emissions from rice farming?
Yeah, I mean, I think what is worthwhile mentioning is that the technologies, I'll come to it in a minute in more detail, are all available in Thailand already. Yeah, so it's not.
That means you move your technology here, equipment.
No,
you mean?
Not at all.
Machinery?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Oh,
that means the technology we apply in the Thai Rice NAMA is all readily available in Thailand already.
Oh.
So it's not a knowledge transfer between Germany, UK, and Thailand.
That shows Thailand is upstandard already.
In terms, not in terms of machinery, but in terms of process, in terms of bringing the right players together, in terms of the overall model, in terms of the financial model, yes, but not in terms of agricultural machinery or anything like that. This is all readily available.
The know-how
here.
is from there.
Know-how is from Thailand, but we support, so to say, making the best use of the technology available in Thailand.
Easy job for you then.
Yeah, well, yes, I mean, I would say so, but it's I mean, it's quite an effort to contribute towards facilitating all the work between the 50 partners, so to say, and of course, we also delivered the overall model how to reach 100,000 farmers. And of course, in very close coordination with the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives and the Rice Department, who plays a very crucial role, of course, in this.
Let me ask you extra questions from here, because Thai grower has to cling to the mentality of Thai rice grower, which they've been doing for a long time, and suddenly they want to change. They want to hand them with new technology. Do you think they accept it, or they can easy to follow you?
I can tell you so many stories you can't believe it. I mean, I'm so astonished sometimes. Of course, it all depends on the trainers, so who we send out to talk to the farmers.
You bash out them.
And sometimes, we also use fresh graduates from school. I mean, the average age of a Thai rice farmer is 57-year-old, and then you see fresh female
15,
graduates
22 years
coming, and farmers don't listen.
Oh, that's why.
But they listen. They listen after a while. Once they know that that the graduates have something to tell. And that also they feel very much that they have more money in their pocket later on if they follow the advice
that
by
they promise to give them.
Yeah, exactly. So they will end up with up to 20% more profit in their pocket if they follow the activities and steps of the Sustainable Rice Platform Standard. But when it comes to the Thai Rice Nama, there are literally 4 technologies being applied. So all geared towards mitigating greenhouse gas emissions. So the very first technology is land laser leveling.
Land leveling, leveling, yes. Level it up first.
Level it up first,
okay.
But that's not so easy since this is done by a tractor and a laser machine.
But they do it already,
Yeah,
I mean, as
a
usual.
tractor and a laser machine, so to say, in order to level the field.
Clean up, you mean?
Not clean up, to laser it, to flatten it.
To flatten it.
To flatten it, since only with a flat land you can manage the water well. That's the logic. So in order to reduce methane in the field, it's all about water management. Since methane cannot be produced and emitted if there is no water in the field, but the rice plant needs water to grow. So you need to level the balance very clearly when to flood the field and when to deflood the field, and then thereby you can reduce the methane emissions significantly. So first step is making the plot flat
land.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then secondly, controlling the water. And this is done.
This is a problem.
Yeah, this is not so easy.
Because the drought is always happening in this country. That also you have a hand in that.
Well,
now
I mean,
I have to work for that.
Yes, of course, water is crucial. That is very clear. And of course, we work with the Thai authorities in this regard. But what the farmer can do as well is there is a not so difficult technology which is called alternate wetting and drying, AWD.
That's the German technology?
No, that is a technology that was trialed by the International Rice Research Institute, who's also one of the main partners in the Thai Rice Nama. And this goes as follows. So you take a tube. Put it in the soil. Dig out the soil, and then you can easily see where the groundwater is. And then you, so to say, decrease the water level in certain periods of growing up to minus 15 centimeters. And the plant can still get all the water from underneath the surface. And that is, so to say, sufficient to make the plant grow and develop nicely. But at the same time, methane production is reduced since the water level is reduced in the field. And the fresh water can be used for other purposes as well. So it also saves up to 50% of fresh water in irrigated agriculture.
For this NAMA and also GIZ to work on this, whatever kind of whatever kind of land, you know, sometimes very dry, so dried up in northeastern, but better in the south. That's way. So this can be done generalized.
So the Sustainable Rice Platform Standard, so to say, so the can be applied anywhere.
Okay,
but the NAMA technologies, particularly the water management, only makes sense in irrigated area. So the northeast is rain-fed, and then you have irrigated rice growing in the north and in the central plains and not in the south. So 50%, let's say roughly, of arable land in Thailand is used by rice. the majority in the northeast, but also roughly 20% in the central plains. So our focus area is in the central plains around Chainat, Angthong, Sinburi, Suphanburi, Ayutthaya, so that area where we have picked together with the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives 6 provinces with a target of 100,000 farmers.
Oh, I see. But not others yet.
Well,
They'll
but
be jealous.
of course,
they'll be jealous of that.
hopefully. But of course, once it works and the model has proven successful, then the Thai government might want to take it up and expand it to other provinces throughout entire Thailand.
Yeah. So, did you talk about flat land? I mean, how to with the use of the technology? So we're flattening land first, and then
Secondly comes the alternate wetting and drying, water management.
That's all?
No, there are 2 more.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, so of course, I mean, it also depends very much on the soil. So that is why there is specific sites nutrient management. Nutrient management, nutrient of the soil. Meaning we run tests of the soil in order to very much analyze what is needed, what kind of fertilizer is needed in order to optimize the soil for a healthy rice crop. So that is also very important since, of course, with the production of fertilizer, also greenhouse gas emissions are associated with. So that is the 3rd technology. And the 4th one is the sustainable rice straw management. So
don't burn it.
Don't burn it. Get it off the field. I mean, either leave particular straw in the field and plow it under. So that is a natural fertilizer as well, since you need to give some organic matter back to the soil in order to maintain the quality of the soil. Or you remove the straw from the field and could also derive additional income since you sell it and use the straw, for instance, for energy production. That is also possible. So these are the 4 technologies which are mainly used in Thai rice Nama.
Good for Thailand. It should not be used how many times grown? Like they can grow once a year, they should be grown twice a year? So to keep them for Thailand? I
mean, usually in the northeast it's 1 season. Homali is like the most yummiest rice in Thailand for sure, maybe in the world. This can only be grown once a year. But in the central plains, in the irrigated area, you can grow 2 to 3 seasons. But the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives and the Rice Department, they advise rightfully that at least a maximum of 2 seasons should be grown. Otherwise, you exploit the soil too much. I mean, you can plant soybeans in between or something, leguminoses, in order to give nutrients back to the soil, but no more than 2 crops, which is the winter crop or the main crop and the minor crop.
Since we casual of you here, so what is it something to do with the chemical? They use chemical sometimes. Is that to avoid it, or they can use again? They still continue with that?
I mean, chemical application is certainly necessary in agriculture, yes, but you have to be very careful since that is very much regulated by the government and here in Thailand by the Department of Agriculture. So they are only registered and allowed chemicals are being used, and the notion is that we also support the farmers in optimizing their agricultural inputs. I mean, not only chemicals, so pesticides, herbicides, and so on and so forth.
That's also part of it.
But also seeds, for instance, and fertilizer. And that brings the majority of additional profits, since the costs are reduced and the yield increases. So to do it the right way and not overly use pesticides, chemicals in the field, but just the right dose with protective equipment and only use registered products. I think that is the way to go.
Organic is advisable.
Almost certainly it is. It certainly is, but organic is different from sustainable. Yeah, so it's only a niche part of it. I mean, it would be wonderful if the world could go organic, but this is not possible, and it will remain a very much niche one. So you could not feed the world by going only organic. Yeah, so it's very welcome and needed, and it's also good to see that the consumers are willing to pay more for organic rice. So this is very welcome, and of course an important part of rice growing and marketing.
Okay, so which agencies, both the private and government sectors, are responsible to implementing this? We did talk about the Thai government, the Thai 4-5 ministries already. So any other private sector?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to private sector, of course, it's, I mean, first of all, some international traders. So I don't know, you might know Olam International. They sit in Singapore, but they also have a big office here in Thailand. So they are part of it. As I mentioned before, they are one of the main rice traders globally, and Thailand being one of the main exporters. That makes a lot of sense, since once you can show the farmers where the market is and link them up in close coordination with the Ministry of Commerce, also with the traders, then they are much more happy and willing to implement the more sustainable techniques. So that is really crucial to, so to say, bring in the market. But at the same time, we also work with a lot of other sustainable rice platform members, like Westmill or Ebro, Herba here in Thailand, and many others. Since, of course, we will not like to give preferential treatment to only one, and we also like very much competition.
When now I come into it, I think this is a kind of saving many of the rice growers starting to sell off their lands, you know, to build condominiums or whatever. But this is, I think, they jump into it, they have to be in it because just to save it up. One part of it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, rice growing will never vanish, as the late King Bhumipol also said. I mean, it's so much, so deeply in the soul and the heart of our Thai fellow citizens. So Thailand need to grow rice.
Yeah, we need.
But the question is whether Thailand should remain #1 exporter or not. I mean, that is questionable. I mean, it could be consolidated, and I think.
What is present situation?
Well, the present situation is, I think. It's usually 3 main exporters, which is India, Vietnam, Thailand. For the last 30 years, it was always Thailand #1. Yeah, so I think now Thailand is #2, #3, always shifting between Vietnam, India. So that's what it is exactly. Maybe exporting roughly half of the production here in Thailand.
Okay, so what any challenges or concern about this implementation?
Yeah, well, I mean, the challenges are, of course, reaching efficiently 100,000 farming households and contributing towards making the life of 450,000 people better. Making them adopt the sustainable rice platform standard, and enjoying better livelihoods, and at the same time contributing towards safeguarding the environment. I mean, that's of course challenging, but we feel very confident since we have such a stronghold in partnership assembled that I think it can be done. It's ambitious, but it can be done, and if it can't be done by this consortium, then it won't be done at all.
Really?
Yeah, so this
is the best already.
This is the best consortium with all the partners involved you need in order to really tackle climate change in rice production in Thailand, and I'm very confident that we will reach our objectives.
So that's your objective, also your expectation?
Well, yes, sure. I mean, it's always good not to over-expect, and to have a realistic management of expectations. But we all feel excited and feel well equipped and informed to give it a push and make it a success in the next 5 years to come.
Well, wish you all the best, sir.
Thank you so much.
We end up our program with thanks to Dr. Matthias Bickel, the Program Director, Agriculture and Food from the GIZ. Thank you for being here and looking forward to see you again then. สวัสดีค่ะ ขอบคุณค่ะ We wrap our program with thanks and looking forward to see you again. Hope you enjoy the show then. Goodbye. สวัสดีค่ะ